also, so panel the attendees can see now.
Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you are climbing it. Struggle is happiness. So struggle and fight to get the success. Good afternoon and namaste from the beautiful city of Nepal, Pokhara. I am Pravesh Gautam, district focal person, Kaski Youth Can. I will be motivating and facilitating for the today's session. So today is the first day and we are here with the topic Youth and Entrepreneurship on the program Youth plus Virtual Exchange and COVID Experience. Before moving ahead, I would like to request all the panelists and participants. There is a tab called Interpretation in the control panel where you can change the language. If you are comfortable with English language, you can choose English. If you are comfortable with Thai language, you can choose Thai language. Thank you. So, moving program formally, I would like to request Founder President of Youth Can, Mr. Ramu Pandey, to chair the session.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. So, today is the first session of Youth and Entrepreneurship. So, Youth plus Virtual Exchange. We have been practicing in this pandemic situation. It is really tough to cope up, but the new normal is joining in such kind of virtual session, and we have been practicing this since this COVID-19. So moving ahead formally, I would like to acknowledge the valuable presence of Ms. Aishani Lave, resident representative for UNDP Nepal, and I would like to hand over the virtual floor for your special remarks to the event. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, respected guests and all special invitees and participants, all protocols observed, and my brother, my peer, my friend from Thailand, UNDP office, Reno. Namaste, Savasdi, and good afternoon to all of you. Very, very pleased to be part of this event and particularly the launching event of this joint venture between our two country offices and also between the two friendly nations, Thailand and Nepal, and also to testimony the first of the series of 6 events covering topics which are very relevant to all of us, and not only the youth, but also less youth like me, very, very important in terms of our well-being, the mental health, knowledge, technology, jobs and livelihoods, the planet, the how we manage it, and challenging the status quo, which is very important for the youth, with new ways, which we call the innovation. So very pleased also the 2 young cohorts from our 2 friendly nations come together virtually, travel together virtually, and to connect, share ideas and agree and disagree, hopefully during these 6 sessions, and to share the passions, the dreams and energy, most importantly, and creativity and solidarity, because this is about South-South solidarity. When countries come together, it is about solidarity, and it's a great opportunity to learn from peers. So I think I want to thank Renaud for suggesting and bringing this idea together, to bring the 2 teams together and share the possible, to share how we coped during the last almost 16 months and coping right now during the pandemic, and how we intend to keep up despite the situation, the pace going forward, to contribute to and achieve to all what we committed a few years back, and by 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are very close to all our hearts. Today's topic, the youth and entrepreneurship, kickstarts this event symbolically on this day of the International MSME Day 2021, and which is also the theme, the key theme is inclusive and sustainable recovery. This very theme, inclusive and sustainable recovery, is very relevant to both our countries, which has very rich diversity and heritage in its people, in its culture, diversity in religion, diversity in tradition, diversity in know-how, and diversity in natural resources. So two countries with this rich diversity coming together will have only very positive outcomes. In Nepal, this I'm telling it to the Thai friends, half of the population are below 24 years of age. So most probably the people who are attending here, half of them are below 24 years of age. 65 to 70% of these people are categorized as being in the working age. 7 million people are employed in Nepal. But of these 7 million, 60%, around 4.4 million people are working in the informal sector. They are not registered anywhere as being working. So these include the daily wage workers, own account workers, domestic workers, family farm workers, and so forth. So starting enterprises or maintaining micro, small, medium enterprises does not have the same baseline for every youth in Nepal or every working adult in Nepal, depending on your hope, or the baseline or the hope for graduation is not the same for each youth and working adult in Nepal, depending on where you belong to, which community you belong to, which occupational community you belong to. And as such, the results, whatever the decisions we make and whatever the incentives we bring can vary. Some of the 18 million are working age adults. 1 million out of these 18 million are in the education. They are studying. 4.3 million Nepalis are outside Nepal. They are all in temporary jobs. Out of these 4.3 million people, only 1.3% of Nepalis are categorized as skilled employees. So this is not a very rosy picture. That means there are a lot of things to do for youth, for the young people. Before the pandemic, unemployment situation in Nepal was around 11%, meaning that close to 1 million people were unemployed. Little bit more than 500,000 Nepalis were underemployed. And every year, about 500,000 Nepalis are entering to the job market. But unfortunately, of these 500,000 employees, Nepalis entering to the job market, only 50,000 would go for the formal sector, meaning 450,000 people plus all the unemployed and underemployed would be looking and being in part of the informal sector. What this means? What this means is they are not protected. COVID or not, pandemic or not, they are not socially protected. In addition, since we are also speaking about the MSMEs, 99% of enterprises in Nepal are MSMEs. And micro enterprises, meaning people below 9 people employing enterprises, constitute around 95% of the MSME ecosystem. So it's micro enterprises are a huge source of employment, but half of them are not registered. Why? Because people have no knowledge as to how to register, or they say they are lengthy procedures, or they say that the registration officers are very far, costly, or they don't know how to fill in the language that they need to fill, or for other reasons, and evoking that they cannot be part of the formal economy or formal sector of the enterprises. So all of this show us that inclusiveness, that is the key theme of today's MSME Day, is far from being attained in Nepal. Investors, on the other hand, are risk averting. They are very much fear of the political stability or the instability, the credit worthiness or the poor infrastructure, mostly about roads and electricity. So most of the MSMEs are in Bagmati province, around Kathmandu. 68% of all the industries and 60% of all the jobs are around Bagmati province, which is Kathmandu province. Most of the banks are in Kathmandu, around Kathmandu, in Bagmati province. All the high-skilled labor force, they are around Kathmandu. So the question is that how to make these MSMEs are accessible and affordable to every youth in the country, every working age adult in the country. Last year, we did a survey as the country entered into the first lockdown. We did a survey and we found out that 3 in 5 employees have lost their jobs in micro and small businesses, all those who were surveyed. And their income fell from 95% last year. And on average, they said that they could only bear up only 2 months during the lockdown. So they were expecting cash subsidies from the government, and they were expecting subsidized interest rates from the government. They could not pay the rents for their micro enterprise places where they were having their micro enterprises. So it was not an easy journey last year, but then again this year we started the lockdown, and as I speak, we are also still under lockdown, and the situation has not changed for these micro and small medium enterprises. So this is to tell you that investing in youth and investing in micro, small and medium enterprises can definitely of course, we know that it better compete. It will help the youth to better compete, not only the domestic but also international market. But it is imperative that the state invest not only in budget but also in implementing the budgets, both at central, provincial, and local levels when it comes to Nepal. Now, to finish, I think it is also important to mention here, if we forget about the future youth, here I am speaking about the 8 million students today who are outside 35,000 schools which are closed or had been closed last year and this year for 5 months last year roughly, and this year already 2 to 3 months, and had been trying to start the school, to start online schooling, which is not, unfortunately, accessible to each Nepali student not in Kathmandu, but again outside Kathmandu. It is said, UNICEF is already warning that we might lose hard-gained benefits for the last couple of years if this situation continues, and if the technology and education are not accessible commodities and affordable commodities for all students in Nepal. So again, here the challenge for inclusive economy, inclusive recovery is not only to think about the talents and the investment in skills, but also at schools, so that future youth will be also having equal access to whatever the educational dividends in which that we are investing today. So I hope these discussions today will be an opportunity, starting from today, will be an opportunity to listen to youth from various walks of life, not only those from Kathmandu or from Bangkok. I hope that the 6 events will bring people from the rural backgrounds as well, and to listen to their stories, how they apprehend the diverse realities that they live being in the same generations, so that their dreams and aspirations to instill well-being and also mental health, the knowledge, the dream jobs they have, the dream love they have, and most importantly, the peace in mind that they are looking for will be not just a dream. So I thank you once again for this great opportunity. Enjoy the conversations and welcome to the session for today. And thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aishani Lavi, Resident Representative for UNDP Nepal. Now, I would like to move ahead. I would like to request and acknowledge the valuable presence of Mr. Renan Mayer, Resident Representative for UNDP Thailand, and we'd like to request him to put his special remarks for the event. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and wonderful to be with all of you this afternoon. I'm very happy to join this series of discussions online, but at least great to see that those technologies allow us to connect. All of you, I feel very privileged to be able to join you all. As you can imagine, it is quite special for me, having been working in Nepal for 4 full years, not too long ago, and now being here in Thailand, and to see that out of this crisis, out of this pandemic, we are able to be creative and use for the good the new technologies that are available to us. Aishani was kind enough to refer to the source of this idea, right? But it's actually not with me. It's really with Ramu Pandey, the founder of Youth Can, who and I guess it's a testimony to also his commitment to youth issues. He approached me a few weeks back and say, you know, what can we do to try to learn from each other? And this is how we slowly conceived this exchange. And I'm really happy that by just connecting young professionals in the development field from Youth Can, from UNDP Nepal, and from UNDP Thailand, you know, we let them conceive and conceptualize what is now going to be a series of online discussions, which I believe will really contribute to learning, to improving the way that young people are able to cope with this pandemic. I wish I could say that this pandemic is coming to an end, but I think we have to be realistic also and honest, and it's extremely difficult to predict how and when we will finally be able to turn the page. So, you know, we cannot just wait for it to finish and then do a kind of a lessons learning. I think we have to adapt, and we have to learn how to integrate this pandemic, but also maybe more broadly, more risks, more, you know, possibilities that future crises will again come and disrupt our lives. So we need to all show and demonstrate our ability to adapt and to react, you know, in a positive fashion to those hurdles in our lives. And I think this is the beauty of young people. They are able to show amazing resilience. I have had the honor to work closely with a lot of Nepali young people during the 4 years I spent in Nepal from all over the country. And I have always been amazed and really impressed by their capacity with, unfortunately, not much, because Nepal is still a country that you know, is in many ways lagging behind on so many socioeconomic indicators, and struggling for a number of reasons, including now the pandemic, but also natural factors and political factors. But despite all those, what many would consider negative elements, Nepali youth are able to stand up and raise their heads high and look forward, be hopeful, and not wait for others to do things for them, but really have this amazing ability of concentrating their skills and putting them not only to benefit themselves and their families, but to benefit society. And an NGO like Youth Can, and there are many of them in Nepal, demonstrate this day after day. So I'm really pleased that through this online platform, we are able not only to acknowledge the resilience of Nepali youth, but as Aishani said, their creativity and the strength in transforming this crisis into an opportunity. And it demonstrates, I think very vividly, that sometimes when you don't have much, this is when you can really go to the core of yourself, of what motivates you in your life, and dedicate yourself not only to your own well-being, but to that of the community. Very similarly, but in a very different context, I think the young people of Thailand have throughout, the past couple of decades had no choice but to do very much the same. Maybe with, better access to sources of education, better access to elements of nature and connectivities, but because Thailand is ahead, on its development pathway compared to Nepal on many indicators. It's an upper middle income country with fantastic opportunities in terms of learning. But unfortunately, and those who are familiar with Thailand would know that not everyone has the same chances, the same opportunities, and inequalities, run very high in Thai society. As you all know, the objective of UNDP, and Aishani referred to them, is to help member states of the UN achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. So, what we need to do is very clear. It's been set for a number of years, and we are in the middle of this, really effort at pushing countries on down this path towards the achievement of the goals. How we do it is really what we want to get better at. Right? And one clear message that we're getting in Nepal, that we're getting in Thailand, but I think that we're getting in so many countries, is that youth will and has to play an increasing role in really not only being an element of it, but in leading what to many countries will be a transformation. And here in Thailand, same, very similarly as in Nepal, if they just wait for the government to do it for them, they know that this is not going to go as deep and as fast as we all want it to be, right? For, again, a number of complex and very much interrelated reasons. So what we see, and I think today in this conversation, we will hear it also from the young people themselves, is that there is a ton of efforts, a ton of initiatives where young people roll up their sleeves, get to work, and again, very admirably, not only for themselves, but for their communities and for their countries. So this, boils down for UNDP to ensuring, and I know Aishani is doing it, with a lot of passion in Nepal, and we're doing it here in Thailand. We are really trying to create space, to give voice, to give encouragement. Incentive, we don't really need to give it because they are very incentivized, but to give them the support that sometimes young people need to get together and to sometimes even look beyond their own horizons, right? And this is why we thought with Ramu and Aishani immediately, said, of course, we'll join. We thought that this opportunity that online platforms allow us to do to connect countries very easily, we realize, so that people can learn from each other, share their experience, learn from each other, look at some very often similar issues. And this is why we've chosen, I think, very strategically critical issues to discuss for the coming weeks, and see how in each country with their different contexts, young people have been able not only to cope, but to actually make progress on those issues. and from from issues like well-being and mental health to today entrepreneurship to later on climate and other very important issues. I think it will be fascinating to listen, to learn, to exchange the experiences of those initiatives implemented, conceived, designed by young people, for young people, and for society at large. We do not want to leave anyone behind in pushing those countries towards this SDGs. So it is critical that we give this voice and those platforms to the young people. And very similar, it is very critical that we also consider the needs of different communities. And this is why I'm extremely happy to see also on my screen as I speak to you, the two young ladies practicing interpretation in sign language, because it shows that we continue to apply this leave no one behind principle and try to connect, maybe less unfortunate in some ways, but I'm sure they compensate with other amazing skills. People that present disabilities and need, special, have special needs in order to be able to communicate. What Aishani also said about going beyond Kathmandu, going beyond Bangkok and Prawesh, I'm very happy to see you with your topi calling in from Pokhara, and this is great. And I know Ramu is probably calling in from Butwal also. We need to go beyond the capital cities, which we know traditionally always have more opportunities, because this is where most of the investments of countries, central governments, apply those investments. I know it is true in Nepal, for having traveled extensively in many provinces, but the same is true in Thailand, which is a very centralized state historically. So I know the colleagues Bright and Kade have been very proactive in reaching out to young people from different provinces of Thailand, and the youth entrepreneurship circle that we have of the Chamber of Commerce, with 77 chapters all across Thailand, for this session on entrepreneurship is a great partner, and we'll make sure that we do the same for the next sessions. So I'm really both professionally but also very personal to me, extremely happy to see this exchange taking place this afternoon. In our world, and I'm sure Aishani it will resonate with her very often. We come, we give 5-minute speeches, and then we move on because we have other calls to take. I actually want to stay a bit longer today because I really am curious to listen to not only what you will exchange, but how you will connect, and to see, and I'm sure we will see it, how the chemistry between young people who are motivated by the same desire for a better society, for a better country, for a better world, will be extremely strong motivational elements to this dialogue and this exchange of experiences. I don't want to touch on entrepreneurship itself. Aishani said a lot already about this. It is, of course, the engine in so many ways of the economies of Thailand, of the economy of Nepal. It is an area where UNDP, maybe more in Nepal than in Thailand, with the famous MEDEP project, has demonstrated over many, many years the power of entrepreneurship, not only for economic and income generation, but also for empowerment of women in rural areas of Nepal, but also empowerment of young people vis-a-vis maybe a more conservative approach to societies. And this resonates in Thailand. Right? I think why entrepreneurship and why micro and small and medium enterprises are so critical and represent such a very, very large part of the Thai economy, it's because it allows freedom of flexibility, freedom of choice, freedom of networking, freedom of shifting also and adapting to context. And we've seen with COVID, with disruptions like COVID, so critical to be able to readapt, realign, reprogram. We've done it in UNDP, but the smaller and the more agile entrepreneurs are, the quicker they can readapt, reskill themselves to different opportunities, and again continue their endeavor to help themselves, their families, but also to help the community. Social innovation, social enterprises is a huge element of this. And here in Thailand, we have a lot of work on social innovation. And I know there will be a special session on innovation in youth in the coming weeks, which I think will also be amazing because, you know, it's not so much what you have around you, but it's also what you have in you here and in your heart that motivates your ability to innovate, create. And it's not only with technologies, but it's also sometimes with lessons from the past that you also draw amazing lessons. So enough, I could go on and on and on because this is so close to me, but I really want to make space for the young people. And I think Aishani and I will take a back seat now and listen with a lot of not only interest, but I think a lot of admiration. Not that Aishani and I are old, of course not. Aishani is in her prime, and you were talking about the below 25. I think she clearly belongs to the below 25. I'm a bit above, but not too far, hopefully. But we will take a back seat and let the new generation show us and lead us to a better future. Ramu, kudos to you. Thanks to you and to the whole gang in Youth Can. I think this is a great work that you're putting together, and we'll be there behind to support you as much as we can. Thank you very much. Kapung Kap, as we say in Thailand. Thank you very much, and I look forward to this series of conversation. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Renon sir, and even I would like to remember Aishani ma'am. Both are the resident representative of UNDP Nepal and Thailand. I would like to acknowledge a huge gratitude to both of you. Your guidance and your support will make us grow more and more. So thank you very much for such insightful words. So moving ahead, in this pandemic, we have practiced in a different way. We have practiced new normal with the virtual classrooms, with the virtual sessions, and with the virtual interaction. So today we are here in Youth Plus virtual exchange and COVID experience between Nepal and Thailand. So before moving ahead, let me highlight to the objectives of our program. So we are basically focusing to have the exchange of good practice. Those have been in action to address the issue related to entrepreneurship, mental health, education, domestic and gender violence, climate change, and good governance. Similarly, we want to showcase the role of UNDP in youth's effective engagement at diverse level in Nepal and Thailand. Even more, we want to make common space for youth to take elaboration action with global perspectives. Similarly, to bring youth-specific action to come up with innovation and sustainable ideas, action to address diverse issues. Similarly, we want to recognize and appreciate those active youths and working for sustainable transformation in diverse sector. So we are known about different international youth days. So we want to showcase the youth actions to mark those international youth days. In the meantime, we are seeing on the screen, I would like to acknowledge Ms. Shilu Sharma, Nepali Sign Language Interpreter, Tem Serin, Thai Sign Language Interpreter. You both are doing great and facilitating us to move ahead. So now I would like to give you a glimpse of our video, promo video, for the 6 episodes of Youth Plus Virtual Exchange. moving ahead, since we are in the virtual exchange, in this part of session, we will be discussing and we will be knowing about the startup ecosystem here in Nepal and in Thailand, because we are youth and we are growing ourselves on entrepreneurship. So we must know about the ecosystem, how it is running. So on behalf of Nepal, representing Nepalese Youth Entrepreneurs Forum and representing his own venture, Karkhana, I'd like to request Mr. Pavitra Gautam, young and an energetic person, to give his insight on introduction to the startup ecosystem in Nepal. Over to you, Pavitra, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Let me actually share the slides so I can start. So I'll try to be very specific with the time. I've been given 10 minutes to talk about entrepreneurship ecosystem in Nepal. I think that's injustice to discuss about such a complex issue in such a short time. But again, I'll try. The first part I want to share is my quick introduction. I am Pavitra Gautam. I am currently co-founder and CEO at Karkhana. It's a educational enterprise that designs learning experiences in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics ideas in school level. But rather than my own venture, today I'm representing Nepalese Young Entrepreneurs Forum. So this is a apex body in Nepal that that has members from all over the country. We have around 600 young entrepreneurs in 10 different cities in Nepal. So altogether, we're generating around 25,000 jobs in Nepal. Probably before COVID. I'll talk about that issue slightly after some time. But again, really happy to be here and really thankful to UNDP Nepal and UNDP Thailand to organize this wonderful program. I've only been to Thailand once with my family. Actually, my sister got engaged there. So she was in Germany. I was in Nepal. So we kind of created Thailand as a place to jump in and do the ceremony again. First, I just want to quickly touch upon the basic ideas of startup ecosystem in Nepal. Few things. Yes, the startup ecosystem is trending in Nepal. The idea of startup, the idea of entrepreneurship is quite buzzing. So I must say that in this last 8 to 10 years, the charm of being an entrepreneur, the passion that I can see in people who are starting their own ideas, that is definitely increasing. And every number so that I think we have some numbers in the beginning as well. But in the meantime, I think we have to understand that the number of aspiring entrepreneurs were much more a few years ago. But now we're starting to see that the number of starting entrepreneurs are increasing. So I think slowly we're seeing that the aspirations are actually being converted into actual ventures and ideas. But again, the challenge that exists in startup ecosystem like Nepal that I see is the infrastructure that's required to make the ecosystem vibrant. And when we talk about infrastructure, there's a lot more infrastructure like the financial infrastructure, like the wallets, the financial policies that actually help a digital economy. I think those infrastructure are still growing. We're in a very infancy phase of those ideas. The policies are not in place. The government is still yet to define a clear definition of what is actually a startup in Nepal. So I think there's a lot of conversation going in governments, federal government, provincial government about defining startups, formulating policies that actually help these startups. One big challenge that I see in Nepal in entrepreneurial or startup ecosystem is the skill and human resource aspect of the entrepreneurship or startup. I guess because the trend has actually moved much faster, people are still and yet to skill themselves with the ideas, with the knowledge, with the concept of the fast growing economy. For example, I think the demand of coding people, or let's say the demand of people in STEM subjects are skyrocketing. But in the meantime, I guess the skill set or the fitting between people and the job, or let's say the employers and the employees, I still see a big gap. The kind of skill set employers are looking for and the skill set the young people are skilling them themselves with. I think there's a lot of gap, and in the following years, I think a lot more effort has to be put into that aspect of the ecosystem. And primarily, you can see two different kinds of startup in Nepal. One breed of startup that you can see is tech-infused startup. So these startups have made technology as a core part of their idea. So, for example, app-based like food delivery system, or let's say app-based travel, or like similar to Uber or something. So there's a lot more tech-infused ideas that starting. These ideas are largely based in urban and semi-urban areas in Nepal. But there's another breed of startup that we generally see in cities, but mostly in the rural parts of Nepal, or urban areas, which is grassroots level ideas focusing on agriculture, farming, service generation, support, consulting. So I think there's another kind of startup and ideas that's forming. So I think there's these two distinct kind of ideas. Another big thing on the startup ecosystem in Nepal is the growth in the access to finance. I must say that in last couple of years, the access to finance and the opportunity in access to finance has definitely grown. We have a couple of venture capitalists that has come up. We have some international impact funds that have come up. We have some investors that are starting to look through a lot more interesting startups in Nepal. But in the meantime, I think we still have to build much more success stories. For example, even my one startup, we recently received $500,000 in investment, foreign direct investment from one of the investors. I think, but these are very rare stories that I think needs to grow. I think there needs to be more organization that are getting investments, that are growing. I think we have a lot more starting stories, but I think in Nepal we need a lot more growth stories in the ecosystem. And finally, one thing that we need to figure out is the challenges with the legal and compliances. One of the big challenges, probably not only in Nepal, but in the region, is how the legal and compliant issues actually become one of the big challenges in the growth of new ideas and startups. And in many cases, the new ideas, new startup have to work in the gray areas. And actually, it's quite stressful for the startup or entrepreneurs, but it's quite challenging even for the bureaucracy. So I think it's the time where youth leaders have to be active and fix the friction between the bureaucratic legal and compliance and bureaucratic compliances and between the activities that the entrepreneurs can do. So I just wanted to give a very quick glimpse of startup ecosystem in Nepal. And let me actually address the elephant in the room, which is called COVID. Of course, since last year when the COVID hit Nepal, there's been a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge, I think, which is very visible and that everyone can feel, is the loss of jobs that have taken place. I think even in the startup ecosystem, I can roughly estimate that around 40 to 45% of the jobs have been lost in entrepreneurial ecosystem. And much more jobs are in a very unsafe state where everyone is undergoing through a lot of unsafe uncertain situation. So one of the big impact has been the loss of jobs. And I think this has been a resultant of the loss of economic activities, because we have actually had months of lockdowns. We have had a lot of challenges regarding the movements. And I think there's this compounding uncertainty and insecurity people have regarding the economy. And people have started to store the money rather than spend the money, which have actually decreased liquidity in market. But I think there's a lot of liquidity in the bank, which is weird in a growing economy. But I think another set of challenges that the COVID has brought is the health challenges. So I think the movement is very confusing. I think there are a lot, I think the kind of activities, events that you can do with large number of people, I think you cannot imagine those now. And there's a lot more complication of organizing events, like conducting activities. So I think suddenly there's a lot of challenges around that area. But again, so what's the way forward that I see that the young people are definitely doing is, rather than waiting for the government, young entrepreneurs, startup people, like startup aspiring entrepreneurs, they're actually coming up with their own solutions regarding health management. So like focusing and collaborating with the government in making vaccines available for like these people who actually move the economy. So I think that was one activities that's going on that I see. The youth and the youth activities and the youth organizations are actually doing a lot of things. For example, there's a very clean example that actually came out in this second wave was a youth-led initiative called COVID Connect, which actually can represent the entrepreneurial attitude in Nepal, that the youth was not waiting for the government for them to come up with the solution that the government needed to bring out, but rather they came up with their one idea. So I know that more than like 300 volunteers actually came together, started this idea. They were making sure that the patients are getting the bed. They were making sure that the patients were getting the oxygen. So I think this kind of example definitely exhibits that Nepal has a lot more potential. I think the youths are like really willing to put their energy and effort in making something happen. But I guess there's a lot more challenges that one has to go through. But saying that, I must have to say that every crisis is an opportunity, because within this crisis, what we have seen is there are new organizations, there are new startup that has actually born. I see a lot more organizations that have started to do home deliveries. I've seen a lot more organizations that have started to work in virtual learning areas. So I think these are the crises that should definitely challenge us, but they should not cripple us. So I see that the youth activities and organizations should focus on understanding and adapting with this situation, helping government bring out fast, robust policies that can accommodate these fast-moving ideas. And I see that the government now is starting to look through these areas. One of the examples that I can share is the government recently made it flexible to do home deliveries. Previously, they were making it very difficult for home deliveries. So I guess these are some challenges. I just wanted to talk about the two large areas, startup ecosystem in Nepal, and the challenges that the COVID has brought in. But again, I am very hopeful because as an entrepreneur, I don't think I have an option. So I'm pretty hopeful that we will rebound. We'll definitely achieve a V-shaped recovery. And I think this is the time where youth have to come together, not only for their business. I think this is not about saving your own shop. I think this is about saving the market. So I think that's the aspiration I think youth need to have, young entrepreneurs need to have. And I guess this is not just only for Nepal, but let's explore possibilities. Let's explore potential collaborations that youth from Nepal and youth from Thailand can do. And for that, if there's anything that me as a person, me as an individual, me as a person representing different organizations can do, I'm more than happy. And with that, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pavitra sir, for your insightful knowledge on introduction to this startup ecosystem here in Nepal. So Pavitra sir, if you can close the screen so I can share. Thank you. So moving ahead, so that was the glimpse of startup ecosystem here in Nepal. So moving ahead, I would like to request Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce Thailand Vice President, Ms. Chanake Bunyakhan, to give the introduction to the startup ecosystem in Thailand on behalf of Thailand. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, and sawadee once again, everyone. Before I continue on to the detail about the impact of COVID-19 on business in Thailand, I would like to introduce briefly about our organization, which is the Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce Thailand. If someone can help me share the slide. Yeah, that's right. Our organization is called Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce, which is under Thai Chamber of Commerce. So it started out in 2013 by Mr. Isara Wongkusonkit, who is now the honorary president. He was the founder back in 2013. Now, under the guidance of Mr. Sanan Angubongun, the picture in the middle, he is the president, the current president of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, who is looking after us And also we have Miss Prim Jitjarungporn, who is the president of Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce Thailand, who has been in charge since 2017. Next slide, please. Okay, this is what we are and what we do. We have over 6,000 members nationwide throughout 76 provinces throughout Thailand. So we actually establish strong local relationships amongst members, as well as trying to expand our connections globally. For YEC Thailand, we are not only focusing on business relationships, but we also expand our loving arms to the community supports and help those people in need occasionally. Next one. This is just a small example of the global connection that we did in the past. So actually before the COVID-19 pandemic, we personally did a site visit to many different countries. For example, Taiwan, China, Japan, Cambodia, and many other different countries as well. But once the COVID-19 hit, the pandemic hit, what we have been doing was we conduct many courses online, on the online base. And I think today is a great opportunity for YE Young Entrepreneur Nepal and Young Entrepreneur Thailand to start connecting, because I believe that we will work together hand in hand in many different areas from now on. Next slide. We also having the training and skills development from time to time, but this also had shifted to a more online base since the pandemic took place. This is the next slide would show you the time when, this is when Young Entrepreneur Thailand visited Taiwan in 2019. That was part of the forum China ASEAN Young Entrepreneur. So we have been actively taking part on the ASEAN Young Entrepreneur as well. So like what I just mentioned before, that it's about time that Nepal and Thailand, we start connect our young entrepreneur group together and work hands in hands together. And the last slide would show that, okay, we're not only focusing on business side. In Thailand, the Young Entrepreneur Group, we also expand our loving arms to the community work and also the community supports to those in need throughout Thailand. Because like what I mentioned before, that we have like 6,000 members nationwide and expand to 76 provinces throughout Thailand. So wherever there is a community needs, community work, we also put our hands to help everyone throughout Thailand. Now let's just come back to the pandemic effect on the business ecosystem in Thailand, which I don't have the slide to show. I just finished my slide here with the introduction of Young Entrepreneur Chamber of Commerce Thailand. So I will just touch on a bit about the pandemic effect on business ecosystem in Thailand. I think the pandemic has hit us all the same, no matter where we are or where we live or which industry we are in. We see many startups or entrepreneurs that have gone out of business. But on the other hand, we also see the evolution or the rise of many newcomers in some specific industries, especially in Thailand, and I think elsewhere it applies the same. We see the rise in food delivery and logistics service industries rapidly. Business and services that involve human movement or human gathering now have been forced to adapt to changes. So those who we see that are still survive in business nowadays are those who can adapt themselves to changes over time. Being lived in northern Thailand myself, I actually witnessed the effect, the reverse effect, I must say, of the COVID-19, especially on farmers and agricultural sectors. Without the middleman nowadays, the farmers, they can deliver their fresh produce directly to end users. And they established a direct distribution channel with the help of their younger generations. Younger generations, by that I mean their children who have returned home from as a result of unemployment from the big cities. Once the COVID-19 hits everywhere, these people that have been unemployed and they are forced to return home to help their parents at home. So they're now being very active in the agricultural sectors in Thailand. They help their family to establish the direct distribution channel to the end users. So I think this is opening up a new opportunity for them to take part of the business ecosystem that they never knew existed before. Because in the past, they were working for someone else. They were working in the office area in many different fields. So now they are forced to come home and had no other choice. So to help the family, and most of the family, let's say in Northern Thailand that I use as the example today, are involved in the agricultural sectors. So communities in remote areas or in agricultural areas now have been better off even before the pre-COVID era, I must say. So the pandemic has proven to us that the business today, the most sustainable business today cannot ignore, I guess, because the BCG or bio, circular and green economy. Because the younger generation, they have been exposed to the bigger city or to the wider world, and they also have the knowledge of this BCG model, and they apply this to do business with their family. And this is, I think this is also the good sign of doing business sustainably. And I believe that if the practice continues throughout even the post-COVID era, this would be the bigger chance or the new chance for the young entrepreneur or the young generation to conduct business on a sustainable basis. And I hope that applies not only in Northern Thailand, but throughout Thailand and everywhere in the world. So it's a start. COVID also has a reverse positive effect that people start considering or thinking more about the environment that we live in. How do we live with the environment sustainably, as well as doing business that make money as well? So I think we can see both the positive and the negative side of it, and it's how we apply it to the situation that we are faced with. And like what I said before, that the crisis actually force people, to adapt themselves to change or face extinction. So we have the choice to choose from. If we want to stay in business sustainably, we have to take into account many factors about environment, about how to live with the environment peacefully and also make money from that as well. So now, like what I said, that is a better chance for many agricultural sectors and farmers in Thailand, that they have younger generation to come back home and help out. Not only the food delivery service that has rise or dramatically lately, the agricultural business in Thailand is also one of the rising star, I must say. So that's all about what I have to say today. And if anyone have any questions that you want to ask, then maybe you can give me the question later on. And thank you for the nice and valuable session for me to join today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senake ma'am. So you have given the insight of startup ecosystem in Thailand. So moving ahead, so let's have an interaction phase now. So we will be discussing some questions from the participants. We have allocated 10 minutes time. So if participants have any questions, you can write on chat box or you can write on the Q&A section. So we have got a question through mail. So here is the question that can be applicable to both Chanake ma'am and Pavitra sir. So in this pandemic, I have questions regarding business. As a struggling phase student, I have dreamed to run business. So can I go for it now or should wait for the pandemic to end? So if you can give some suggestions. So Pavitra sir, are you there?
Yes, should I try and answer that question?
Yes.
I think that's a wonderful question. If I were you, again, this is a very personal opinion. I'm not an expert. I'm answering this if I were you. So if I were you, what I would do is in this pandemic, in this time of pandemic, maybe I would focus on improving my skills, probably being part of some other organizations where I can actually build my network, actually build access to finance, because honestly, this is a very risky time. And you have to understand that the chances of you being successful starting a business in this difficult time is low, but of course I can understand the return could be high. So I would ask you to do a very careful assessment of the risk that you can take. If you can actually take a lot of risk, this is a wonderful time. If you cannot take a lot of risk, maybe this is a time to build your skills, build your network. I think that how I would answer that question.
Thank you for Pavitra sir. So Chanakya ma'am, if you can add on this.
What was the question again?
The question is, in this pandemic situation, we should wait for the situation to be smooth, or we can start a business being a student of business background.
Can I have the question again, please?
So okay, in this current situation of pandemic, COVID-19 is hitting a lot. So if a person wants to start a business, should he wait for the end of pandemic, or he can do or start, or if you have any suggestion regarding that?
Well, I guess you can start right away. You can enter the business ecosystems right away. You don't need to wait for the pandemic to end, because there's no, there's so many opportunities that exist at the moment. If anyone wants to start a business now, you see the opportunity, enter the market now. No need to wait until the pandemic ends, because now there are many chances out there in the air that you can grab. There are a lot of opportunities in business-wise. It doesn't matter that you can start small or start big. Maybe you don't even need to have a lot of money for investment. You can just start from tiny bits and start from home. And, because the business ecosystem involves so many sectors altogether, you can be part of it straight away. Don't wait. That's my suggestion.
Thank you, ma'am. And there is another question regarding the failure and success story. So it's always said that failure is the key to success. So, but many of the startup fails due to their immature decisions. So we would like to know the viewpoint of you on this topic regarding failure and success and doing the startups.
Well, if you ask me about the failure and success, it's part of life learning experience. If you, in everything that you do, you can face the failure first before you can succeed. Many times failure gives you strength, I believe, and it's the learning curve that you can experience by yourself that no one can tell, because many different people experience different things. Once you face the failure, that's just part of it. Just go ahead and do other things. You will succeed one day.
Thank you, Chanakya ma'am. So Pavitra sir, if you can add some on this.
I think the question about failure and success is, I find it very personally funny, because the way I look at it is there's no success without failure, and there's no failure without success. So the reason I'm saying that is, I really like this idea shared by Simon Sinek. You can actually Google him or find his video on YouTube, where he talks about finite game and infinite game. I think being an entrepreneur is actually playing an infinite game where there's no finite players, there's no finite time. I think in this game, you define the rules. And this is not about winning one particular fight, but I think losing fight, then understanding the battleground more, then going back again with more resources. I think the failure can end everything that you have planned if you choose to end it. But if you choose to use that failure as a learning, as an opportunity to better yourself, as ma'am recently said, I think failures are a wonderful opportunity that actually improves the chances that your that idea will get a bit more success in the next time. I think the challenge here is not to repeat the mistake, but again, we should not be hiding away or running away from the mistake, I guess.
Thank you, Pavitra Shah, for that insight. So in the question answer panel, there is a question like statement. So MSEs in Nepal are most effective due to COVID-19 pandemic. The government of Nepal should address the problem, and we as a development agency should advocate. So what is your viewpoint? I would like to request both the panelists to have some viewpoint in context of Thailand also. Chanaka ma'am can interpret on that. Pavitra sir?
I couldn't hear the first part of the question, so I'm a bit confused.
So small enterprises are much more affected due to COVID here in Nepal, and maybe they're in Thailand as well. So government of Nepal should address those problems. So what can be the aspects that we can see from the government of Nepal, and even development agencies can advocate? So what can be that possible results?
Oh, I think that's a very good question. A very simple answer would be government should definitely come up with some very low interest loans that should support the businesses that have been impacted. Maybe there should be some form of assessment that could be done for the impact that has been made in the business. So according to that, maybe low interest loan is one thing, but also I think there's a lot more possibility and opportunity for development sector and players like UNDP in actually creating spaces where connecting young people with other young people. I think this is in itself is a initiative that could actually help, because at times where finances or existing resources that you have starts to be insufficient, I think connections, network, support, some kind of subsidy will always help. So I think UNDP or any other organizations, development organizations, should focus on creating support financially, network-wise, or some kind of space to even, like, for example, I know that UNDP is thinking about creating a youth accelerator or the accelerator lab. So kind of create sharing, giving co-working space for some period of time, or finding those spaces. I think there are a lot of ideas that can be done, but at the bottom of it, there should definitely be opportunity to have low-cost loans.
Thank you, Pavitra Shah. So I would like to request Chanaka ma'am. So if you can give some insight, what is the government of Thailand is doing for such small enterprises in this COVID situation?
Well, in Thailand, the SME or small to medium enterprise consists of most part of the enterprise in Thailand. So I think if the government can look after the SME or the small to medium enterprise by, let's say, financial help, like what someone mentioned before about the access to lower interest loan, or the tax cut, maybe, or the infrastructure cost cut, because if the small to medium enterprise in Thailand survive, the whole economy will survive. So the government should focus on the SME people more than other part of the economy. So this is what my suggestion would be. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanaka ma'am. So I'm getting questions from Savi Rai in chat box. What would be the one takeaway from the session based on your experience? This is for both our panelists, and this will be the last questions for this panel discussion. Pavitra Shah, you would like to go first?
I think rather than me saying what should be the takeaway, it would have been interesting to hear someone else's view. But I think the only one thing that I would like to share is, see, I think the youth get their energy from the hope that they have for the future. I know this is a very difficult time for everyone, for very like old businesses or new businesses, or even for students. So if the only thing that I recommend to take away from this conversation is not to lose hope, because if you lose hope, I think you stop being young people.
Thank you, Pavitra sir. So Chanaki ma'am.
Yeah, I would add on to that. I think everyone nowadays, not only business, youth, and everybody, we are being forced to adapt because now it's different, much more different than the pre-COVID era, I would say. So we are being forced to adapt, and people who can adapt to change would be people who stay. Otherwise, we will face extinction. So, learn to adapt to changes and stay positive because this is a new era. Everyone is facing this together. The whole world is facing this together. So the best thing we could do is stay positive and be able to adapt to change. Because even after this, the post-COVID era may give something even better than before that we have not seen yet. So don't lose hope and stay positive and be able to adapt to change. That would be my suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Chanaki ma'am and Pavitra sir, for your insightful experience and telling us about the startup ecosystem here in Nepal and there in Thailand. So I would like to move ahead. So as we are known that youth and entrepreneurship, they are much more connected with each other. Youth connecting gives positive vibes, building a good entrepreneur. So now moving ahead into the level of experience sharing. So I would like to call upon Mr. Thanakon Fomios, CEO and co-founder of Young Happy, for sharing the experience and his journey throughout his venture.
Okay, Sawadee Krap. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here and very nice to meet all of you guys. And thank you so much to invite me to be here today. It's my honor. Actually, I prepared to sharing what I did, right? And first of all, I have to say that I used to join Youth Collab by UNDP Thailand, like I think 4 years ago, and that is helped me to like springboard our social enterprise. So today I would like to share a little bit what we did and what we adapt our organization during the COVID-19. And the last section maybe I would like to share you a little bit what I think and what I did during the tough situation like this. And maybe I hope it's gonna ignite you all sharing some experience that Young Happy did during the COVID-19. Okay, let I start to sharing my organization a little bit. Okay, so Young Happy is a happiness community platform for elderly people. We start since like 2017, and it's very simple that I would like to start social enterprise because I think that I want to do something good to society, but I would to like sustain ourselves and our team. So that I thought social enterprise is quite a good match for us. And we look at the problem that Thailand facing is about the elderly people. Everyone have to facing this period, no matter who you are, right? Even me and you. So how we can help them, okay? We need to understand that elderly people can divide in 3 groups. First, we call them active period, and second, we call them homebound. So we want to extend the active period as far as we can through the solution that we give back to them is like make them fun to an event, have a volunteer program through the time bank. And last one, we have an Young Happy app is a platform that they can connect dealing together at the same age. Especially, I found that in last 4 years, elderly people that we have a chance to work with, they're really happy that they have another chance to participate back in society again, because most of them was lack of the area, or they was excluded from the society. So that Young Happy try to build the community through online platform when we start, because we don't have a lot of investment at first, so that we use free platform, and then we found the solution that we can help the business sector can get in touch with elderly people. So that right now Young Happy is like a platform, it's like a touch gatekeeper between government or private sector with elderly people. And we adapt from event that we arrange for elderly people through online platform, like we have an online learning platform during the COVID-19. But last but not least, I would like to share, okay, maybe the last one. This is the event that Young Happy used to arrange for the elderly people last 3 years, but I tell you, right, we're facing the challenge because the COVID-19 came up and we have to stop all these things. But you know, elderly people, even the COVID-19, they facing the challenge more than before, because loneliness, if you know that, is a killer, right? Many people told me that is harmful than you smoke more than 20 cigarettes a day. So Young Happy worry about elderly people. They have to stay at quarantine, right? They have to stay at home and cannot go out. So we do believe that if we let them stay home for long, maybe they're facing the loneliness more than before. So that Young Happy launched the new feature, and I want to share you that the new feature came out because we worry a lot about the situation here in Thailand. At first, because Thailand may be the second country that facing the COVID-19 after China. And I think I worry a lot because even the government, right? Thailand government right now, they didn't support a lot for the SME or the private sector. So that I think most of entrepreneurs, they have to take care of themselves. So Young Happy think a lot what we can survive during the COVID-19, because we cannot arrange all the event, and it's a cash cow for Young Happy. I mean, it generates the revenue, only one that generates revenue for Young Happy. But we thought that if we didn't adapt ourselves, our organization will gone for sure. So we have an app, but the app is not like famous or reach out for the whole country. But we thought this is a good time for us. So we launched the new feature. It's called the online challenge. What is the online challenge? I would like to share you via the short video. Okay, it's a very short video, and it maybe explain to you more clearly than me. Okay, I would like to share to you this one. Wow, this one. Sorry, this is the video that I would like to show. And I would like to show this video because it came up from the team, that my team, they thought that how we can help elderly people if they stay at home. So our team think about if we can send some like challenge to their home, so we can help elderly people to active at their house. So it came up
ส่วนใหญ่เนี่ยก็จะคิดว่าวัยเกษียณคือวัยที่สิ้นสุดการทำงานของชีวิต
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Oh my God.
Can you please share the link so that we share the link?
เกษียณคือวัยที่สิ้นสุดการทำงานของชีวิต
เราหาคนคุยด้วยก็ได้ไอ้รุ่นเดียวกันนี่รู้สึกมันจะไม่ค่อยเหลือนะครับปัจจุบันนี้เราละผู้สูงวัยกีดกันให้ไปอยู่ขอบเราสนใจแต่วัยรุ่นวัยกลางคนวัยทำงานผมทวีเผ่าสุวรรณนะครับชื่อเล่นก็ลุงวีอายุ 67 ปี
ชื่ออัญชลีค่ะหวังวีรมิตรนะคะใครๆเขาก็จะเรียกกันว่าหนูลีค่ะหนูตั้งแต่เด็กจนแก่เลยค่ะตอนนี้ก็อายุจะ62แล้วค่ะ
ผมชื่อหยวยแซ่กัวครับอายุตอนนี้ก็94ครับอาชีพผมเป็นเจ้าของร้านนี่ไงผมทำตั้งแต่อายุ13
ก่อนเกษียณนะคะทำงานทางด้านประชาสัมพันธ์แล้วก็ดูแลงานทางด้านกิจการเพื่อสังคมด้วยค่ะ
33 ปีที่ผ่านมานะครับผมก็สอนหนังสือตั้งแต่ม.1 ถึงม.6 ครับในวิชาคณิตศาสตร์เป้าหมายคืออยากจะมีมาราธอนแรกเริ่มจาก5 กิโล 10 กิโลปีประมาณ66น่าจะได้วิ่งมาราธอนแรก
เป้าหมายของตัวเองตอนวัยเกษียณนะคะเริ่มจากตัวเองก่อนไม่ต้องให้คนอื่นมารับผิดชอบตัวเรามากนะ
ยังนึกว่าผมอายุไม่เท่าไหร่เนี่ยผมยังทำตัวเหมือนไม่เด็กๆอ่ะพูดง่ายๆนะเขาบอกพระอาทิตย์ขึ้นมาตกไปมันก็ยังขึ้นมาใหม่แต่ความหนุ่มสาวของเราจากไปแล้วไม่กลับมาเลยเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องทำให้ดีทำให้ร่างกายแข็งแรงแล้วจะได้มีความสุขความสบายครับผมเป็นคนที่ชอบเล่นFacebook มีไอ้ไลน์ออกมายังแฮปปี้ให้ลูกสาวสมัคร
เห็นข้อมูลของยังแฮปปี้เนี่ยเหมือนประชาสัมพันธ์เรื่องของสังคมผู้สูงวัยที่จะอยู่อย่างมีประสิทธิภาพไปโหลดแอปพลิเคชันก่อนนะคะแล้วก็ติดตามข่าวสารมาโดยตลอด
ยังแฮปปี้เด้งขึ้นมาเข้าทางเราสิครับถึงแม้ว่าจะสูงวัยแต่เราก็ทำได้หลายอย่างคลิกเข้าไปดูก็มีกิจกรรมหลากหลาย
แต่ละวันเนี่ยนะคะก็จะต้องรีบหยิบโทรศัพท์มาก่อนดูตั้งแต่เช้าว่าภารกิจเมื่อคืนเนี่ยเราผ่านไหมแล้วก็ดูว่าภารกิจใหม่วันนี้ให้ทำอะไรบ้างแล้วบางทีตอนพี่นอนตอนกลางคืนเนี่ยนะคะพี่ก็ลืมไปแล้วไงว่าเรายังไม่ได้ส่งภารกิจพี่ก็จะต้องปลุกคนข้างๆเนี่ยลุกขึ้นมาก่อนแบบมาช่วยถ่ายกิจกรรมมาช่วยทำกิจกรรมหน่อยพี่ว่าจริงๆมันก็เป็นการสร้างความสัมพันธ์ในครอบครัวนะคะ
ฉันเรียกงงเนี่ยเขาให้ทำอะไร3 อ.อาหารออกกำลังกายอารมณ์
เป็นคนให้ความสำคัญกับอาหารมาแต่ไหนแต่ไรแล้ว
Okay, I think I should stop the video because it's a little bit take time, right? But that is the feature that we launched during the COVID-19, and I have to tell you that it turned in a positive way in terms of growth in our community. We get more members during the COVID-19, and in terms of financial, we got more sponsor from the new feature that we built during the COVID-19, and I have to tell you that it helped us double our impact to society because previous we can arrange an event and we can host an event just only 30 people or maximum is like 200 people is max of our event, right? But this time we can help elderly people to active every day, more than 1,000 people at the time. And we launched this kind of challenge more than I think 6 or 7 times, and we have more than like 4,000 or 5,000 people join from this challenge. And last one, I would like to share you in terms of like social entrepreneur. I think it's not easy. Anyone who select to go on this like load, and it's not easy. I have to tell you that it is tough because if you choose to be the businessman or if you choose to be the entrepreneur, you only think only one factor is about the business, right? You only think about how you can make more profit. You don't have to care a lot about society. But if you choose to walk through the social entrepreneur, I think you have to think about society in the same time that you try to help your company survive. And so I tell you that it's tough. It's not easy, but when you can achieve it, I think one thing that you will get receive more than the money is the reward that you get from the beneficiary, that you give the benefit to them. Like elderly people, every time when we facing the tough time, we thought and we talked to our team that if we survive, if we can help, if we can like run our organization, it means we can support and help a lot of elderly people to have a better life. So that it's like a field help like all the staff can get through the tough time. So that this is autonomy that I found somewhere in the internet, and I think this is correct. The social entrepreneur, you need to like college, you have to dare to dream big, okay? Dare to challenge the problem. And the most important thing is about the economic, right? You have to find a way to survive our organization too. Many people want to help society, but they didn't think how to make it sustainable. So I think this is very important. And last one, maybe this picture can help me a lot during I facing the challenging time. I think everyone know the roller coaster, right? When you buy the ticket and get on the roller coaster, you know that you're gonna screaming, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry. And I think it's the same. If you take a ride on the roller coaster as an entrepreneur, you have to facing all these phases. So I would like to sharing the last thing to you that, okay, if you know that you have to facing it, when you're facing it, you only to prepare, right? When the roller coaster is go down, like the economy is go down, you need to prepare yourself. And when it hit to you, you just scream it and wait for the new like the new I mean you only wait for the next round, right? It's gonna be better. So I think the roller coaster is like this. The entrepreneurship is the same. If you know you're gonna scream and you're gonna cry and you're gonna feel happy, so it is the life of entrepreneur. And I wish that everyone will passing this tough time. And I know it's very tough. I have a lot of friends that maybe they close their shop, they have to sell their land, they have to fire their staff, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't want to do that. But yeah, it is life. So I'm sure every one of you guys, this is the good time for social entrepreneur, because you see a lot of problems happen right now in the world. So we need a youth power to turn it back to be the better world. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you, Thanakon, for your insightful experience sharing. So let me move ahead. So on behalf of Nepal, let me call upon Ms. Sadiq Sharia, representative of Himalayan Innovation, for sharing your experience and journey towards your venture. So over to you, Ms.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here sharing about my COVID experience, being as a young entrepreneur. I run Himalayan Innovations in Nepal, and what we do is we provide clean energy solutions to the rural people. And our solutions are the solutions that have the capacity to transform the agriculture. And recently we have, due to COVID, we had this necessity of the adjustment or what we can say is a COVID disruption that we faced. And I'm sure many of the businesses around the world have been hit hard. And as one of the speakers we previously said, we can turn the COVID as an opportunity to offer new services as a startup, or we can have a slight adjustment to our previous business model. So moving forward, what we did was we piloted we went with the slight adjustment model. And what we did was we piloted Gaon Bata, meaning products from the village, logistics that logistic model that can offer clean tech solutions for smallholder farmers in rural Nepal, and as well as allow them to have a platform that can offer them access to market, security, and meaningful access to finance. And these are the three problems what we as Himalayan Innovations did from piloting Gaonbata, and I'm very much glad to say that we have acquired the a grant from UNCDF under the Women Enterprise Recovery Fund. And it is, and at this moment, I pretty much want to share that to all the entrepreneurs that please don't be, stay positive. Please don't be, please don't stop trying to modify your previous model, and a little adjustment is always helpful if you are staying back and not running the business at the moment and working to revitalize your previous business model, or you can give the service in the entirely new perspective. If it doesn't at the end, it all what matters is your service needs to fill up the necessity of the people out there, and this is what matters. And as one of the speakers said, it brings a risk as well, but then if you are to create an opportunity out of a crisis, you need to go through your business model thoroughly, right? And all the young entrepreneurs can utilize this time as modifying their business model. And if you see the right time, if you see that you can provide help people with your innovative business right now, I would suggest please utilize this opportunity and keep taking feedback from your service, from your stakeholders, from your beneficiaries, and revise your business model and use this crisis as an opportunity, as I and my team at Himalayan Innovations did. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadiksha ma'am, for your insightful experience sharing. Sorry. Okay, moving ahead. So due to the time constraint, we are skipping this interaction session. So we have limited time limitation. So thank you all the speakers. So moving ahead, we have a cultural exchange. So I would like to have a brief background on this. So for the cultural exchange, on behalf of Nepal, we are having a song by a young lady, Diksha Giri, and she will be singing the song Tin Pate in Nepali. So it indicates the love and intimacy and sustained love, intimacy, and its sweetness is like in Tri Leaf or Tin Pate. And the song, the original singer is Susan Sapagai and Vidya Tiwari, and now we are hearing from our young lady from Nepal, Diksha Giri. So are you there, Diksha?
Hi everybody, good afternoon from Nepal, and namaste everyone. So thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you so much. It has been a wonderful pleasure meeting and greeting every one of you in Nepal and Thailand exchange program. And yeah, thank you so much, Ramuji and everybody, for giving me this opportunity. And once I had been to Thailand, and it was a really wonderful experience for me. People are really very good and kind, very helpful. So yeah, we're singing, and not only me, my brother is also joining me. So yeah, here we go.
Hello.
Okay, we shall start now.
देखे
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diksha Giri and her brother. So it was really wonderful song, and this was huge gratitude from Nepal. We are addressing our culture on behalf of this song. So this makes to the end of our today's event, Youth and Entrepreneurship. So more episodes are there to come. So moving ahead, I would like to request our founder president of Youth Can, Mr. Ramu Pandey, for his closing remarks. And by handing over this virtual floor to him, I am also bidding a bye. So thank you everyone on behalf of me, and this is Pravesh Gautam, district focal person of Youth Can, signing up and handing this floor to Mr. Ramu Pandey, founder president. Over to you, sir.
First of all, good afternoon and namaste. Greeting from Nepal. It's me, Ramu Pandey, founding president at Youth Can. So thank you so much, Pravasi, having a great moderation of this session. So I would like to thank all of the wonderful people who spoke and performed today. We at Youth Can feel thankful to UNDP office in Nepal and Thailand for nurturing this idea, the raw idea of exchange program to this level, that we are here for a virtual experience session. Not only limited to a session, we are having great experience sharing, great cultural sharing, great collaborative approaches that we are addressing through this initiative. So with the evolution of learning platforms, we at Youth Can, with support from UNDP, would like to have this joint initiation as a common platform for youth from both the countries, Nepal and Thailand, to have cultural sharing, knowledge sharing, and build collaborations for long as sustainable approach with a mindset to solve the community and the whole global as a whole. So all of you taking your time from your professional and personal schedule to having your very valuable presence, we are very thankful, and we are hoping, and we are for sure we will be making and ensuring other 5 sessions that we will be having in our way much more effective with your presence, with your support, and with your feedbacks that we have been doing today. So thank you so much for your valuable presence, valuable comment, valuable support, and how can we forget the 2 RR from Nepal and Thailand, as well as the youth officers from both the countries who have been supporting us throughout the planning and scheduling of this all over the session and all over the initiative, and also our Sudeep Ariyal sir, who has been supporting at our province level to grow us more and more and plan this session. So thank you so much everyone for your valuable support and presence. We'll be hoping to see you on upcoming sessions. Thank you so much. Namaste.